Has there ever been a time when you felt like like life was just too much for you? Like the thing you're dealing with is too much for you. The situation that you're going through is just too much for you. Like you're trying to do everything right, you're trying to live the right way, but things are just too much for you. Today, I wanted to spend a little bit of time diving into those things that make us feel like we can't take it anymore. The things that make us feel like we want to throw in the towel. The things that make us feel like we want to quit. Like we don't even care about our dream no more. The things that make us feel like sometimes that you even just want to end your life. I've never been in that exact place to where it's gotten to the point of me wanting to end my life, but I've been to the place to where I wanted to quit, I wanted to give up, I wanted to take a different route. And so I wanted to take a little bit of time to address that. Over the last 4 months for me, things have been very uncomfortable, very different to say the least. And in last week's video, I told y'all that I have this serious need and love of shopping, and Target is like my favorite store. And the fact that I can't really go to Target and shop the way I want to right now, that's a real problem for me. And then the fact that I'm eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches sometimes, and I oodles and noodles and trying to season them up and making it into something gourmet, that ain't really life. That ain't really me. But I've been able to be happy in that because I've been able to have food. Even though I can't go to Target, I still have clothes. I still have the things that I need in my house. And so, the past 4 months have really shown me that all the things that I value aren't necessarily things that I need to move forward. And so, for me, I think the biggest struggle and the biggest battle that God had to show me was that things aren't always going to be perfect. You're not going to always like the situations that he places you in. And over the last couple months, for me, that's been my finances. He really put a strain on my finances. And I know that that was my struggle on purpose because that's something that I valued. That's something that I loved. And so he had to put me in a place to where I had to realize that I didn't need all of that I thought I needed. And so for me, over the last couple months, I got to a place of saying, God, this is really too much for me. I really can't take this. I was ready to say, forget all this entrepreneurial stuff, forget all this trying to, my business and this idea. I'm about to go down the street and go work for Chick-fil-A because I know they'll hire me because I have amazing customer service, and my pleasure is the best my pleasure that anybody else is gonna ever get. It's my pleasure. Have a great day. You need more sauce? You want a little extra squeeze of lemon in your lemonade? What is it that you need? I'm the ideal Chick-fil-A customer service girl. So I already knew they was gonna hire me. But seriously, I got to a point of where I wanted to abandon the things that I knew that God had told me to do because it's just too uncomfortable. I just don't like it. I don't like being in this place. It's hard. I physically felt in a moment that I couldn't take this no more. This ain't for me. And then God had to slap me, and he made me realize that even though I think that the place that I'm in is hard, think about all the other people who are going through things that you didn't have to go through. Just last year, I finished a program for nonprofit management, and I was able to have a scholarship to get me through school, and the pieces that I wasn't able to pay for in scholarship, we were able to pay for with our finances. And thank God for my babe for supporting me through everything that I went through, even school and even now. He helped me through it. He helped me to be able to help myself. So side note, but thank you, God, for sending me him. But seriously, there are times and there are people who go through things that sometimes we don't necessarily even understand that the things that we're praying against, the things that we're asking God to make better are the same things that people just won't. The oodles and noodles and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that I'm tired of this. There's people who would just love to be able to go into their kitchen freely and into a kitchen period and be able to cook into my kitchen, into my home freely. And here I am saying, God, give me more. This isn't enough. I'm not happy with this. And so I know that I'm saying that these things that I'm talking about are too much, but I know that there are people who are dealing with things that are even far more serious than what I'm dealing with. I'm talking about the fact that school was hard for me, but there are people who can't physically afford to pay their tuition. There are people who are saying, God, like, I guess I'll have to go to school next year because I just can't do it right now. There are people who are struggling with this idea of God has given them a baby, and it's like, God, I can't deal with this pregnancy. My parents weren't even real parents to me. I don't even know how to be a mom. I can't take care of no child. I don't have time for this. I don't have the finances for this. How am I can barely take care of myself, and now I got to take care of a whole nother child. And then in retrospect, there are people who are then on the other end of that saying, God, all I want is a child. All me and my husband have been preparing for is a child. You know, we're doing everything that we can to try to get this child to come into our life. And God, there's nothing else that we can do. You giving babies to people who don't even need them, people who don't even want them. But you can't give us a child? Why can't we have this baby that we want? And maybe it's not the child. You know, there's people I've seen, and I'm noticing that it's even relationship problems. Like, you know, God, I love this man. I love this woman. I'm giving them my everything. And they can't give me even a piece of it back. They're cheating on me. They're lying to me. They don't love me like they say they do. They say they love me. They don't want me to go anywhere. But they don't really love me the way I need to be loved. What am I getting out of this, God? God, this is too much for me. Is it really meant for me to stay, to be in this place? God, I can't take this no more. And the people who are even dealing with like death, you know, God, I can't fathom the idea of making it through life without this person. That person was the only person who understood me. That person was the only person who got me. The only person who really loved me in this world. And now you want to take them away from me? What am I supposed to do without them? What am I supposed to do without her? Who's going to have my back? Who's going to be there for me when I need it? God, this is too much for me. And I know that what makes it worse sometimes is when we're doing all things right, we're trying to go to church. Maybe you're trying to read your word. Maybe you're not. Maybe you know, for you, it's I stopped cursing. I stopped drinking. I stopped doing drugs. I stopped going to the club. I stopped sleeping around. I stopped gambling. I stopped selling drugs. I stopped messing around with that person that you told me to cut out of my life. But you're still not delivering me from this place that I need to be delivered from. God, this is too much for me. Who do you think I am? Why do you think I can take it? So as I think about, you know, going through things that are tough and that are hard and that are uncomfortable and that we're not prepared for, I was reminded about a year ago. You know, I live in Florida, in Tampa, Florida, and about a year ago, there was this huge storm that was projected to come through Tampa, and it was supposed to be horrible. So I packed up all of my stuff and I went over to my parents' house, who live about an hour away in Royal, Florida, near Wildwood, Florida. And I sent my dog off with my boyfriend because I'm like, hey, like, I got to be prepared for this. I got to be safe. And I go up with my parents and I'm all in panic mode. I'm scared. I'm scaring the kids. I'm scaring everybody. I got the news on. I got all the apps on my phone because I was the news. And I was trying to make sure that everybody in my family understood, like, this is serious. Like, this is crucial. Like, and nobody was taking it serious. Nobody, like, they all said that I was overreacting. But I wasn't. And going to my parents' house was probably the worst decision ever because they ain't care about my life. Like, they really ain't care about me. And so the storm was coming and I'm tracking the storm and I'm worried and I'm telling my dad, like, hey, maybe we need to pack everybody up and go get my granddaddy and go get my grandma, and we need to evacuate. Like, we need to leave this place because this ain't the place for us. And my dad looked at me and he's like, first, we're not going anywhere. I got my deep freezer that's full of food. I got my generator. Like, we good. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to stay right here in this house. And I'm like, but why, Dad? Like, you know, all that stuff don't really help you get through the storm. It only helps you, like, once the storm is over. And my dad was like, but you're worried like you don't know who God is. So I'm not worried. God has me. And my mom is like telling me to shut up because, you know, my mom is low-key rude or whatever. And so she telling me to shut up. She didn't change the TV. She don't even want me to watch the news no more. My sister's laughing at me and I'm in panic mode. And so we all go to sleep that night And my parents, like, our house isn't a brick home. So when they said that these winds are going to be horrible and it can be catastrophic, I'm all scared. I'm nervous. I'm thinking we're going to die. Like, in my mind, I knew we was going to die while we was asleep that night because it was supposed to hit in the middle of the night. So we all lay down in this room, and it's like one part of our house that is made of brick because my parents just remodeled. And I'm in there with my sisters and the nieces and nephews, and the room is attached to my parents' room. So they're in the bed, and everybody was knocked out. I'm talking about sleeping peacefully as if it was a beautiful sunny day on an island in Tahiti. Everybody just knocked out. Mind you, I'm in panic mode because I'm tracking the storm, and the storm is projected to hit anywhere between now and the next 30 minutes. So I feel like I'm dying. And the storm bands start coming, and I guess the eye wall gets close, and it gets like crazy. I'm talking, my house is shaking, moving, rattling. I feel like the roof is gonna fly off. I'm thinking the trees are gonna fall on top of us because we live in the country that's surrounded by trees, our home. And I'm just like, at any moment we're gonna die. At any moment it's gonna take us out. At any moment it's gonna be over for us. At any moment it's gonna, this is gonna be it. And so I'm over here like, God, please forgive me for all my sins. Lord God, I'm sorry. Lord God, cover me. I'm praying. And then finally I said, you know what, God, like, everybody sleep. God, just give me peace. Give me peace in this. I know I can't remove myself from this situation, so give me peace right where I am. Calm my spirit, Lord. Calm me to the point to where I can go to sleep. Put me to sleep during this so I don't even have to deal with it, Lord God. Just put your hand and cover and protect us as we go through this, God. And so I switched my prayer from, oh Lord, like, we're gonna die, Jesus Christ, we finna die, to calm my spirit, give me peace. I changed my perspective. God, cover me. God, you got this. I am your child. My perspective shifted even in the middle of the storm. And as my perspective shifted, the eye wall passed, and we got to the where the eye of the storm is a place of peace. It's the calmest part of the storm. And in that moment, I was able to go to sleep. I was able to get my rest. And so I knocked out, and I woke up in the next morning, and I'm like, thank God we made it. And of course my dad's like, I wasn't worried anyways, And so I'm like, okay, whatever, Dad. And we go out throughout the community, and we're helping people, because we see trees everywhere, and there's so many mobile homes in our community, and old houses. And so I'm expecting like houses to be blown over, trampled, whatever. And we get out, and I see that, like, actually there's like no real damage. And I'm wondering, like, God, like, why is there no damage here? Like, this was like a really bad storm. And my sister and my dad were like, y'all know people around here pray, like, ain't nobody worried about that. And it reminded me that in that moment, how good my God is, because I'm worried about something that's not even within my control. I couldn't do anything to stop that storm if I wanted to. And I was in the middle of it. The storm was already there, so I couldn't even leave. I couldn't even go nowhere. All I could do was get to the other side of through. And what changed me from going through in the place of fear and worry and everybody else resting and sleeping and just passing through it, but I decided to worry, I decided to fear, I decided to be anxious, I decided to think that something that I could do was gonna make things better, or whatever. I thought that it was within our control, when all the while God just said, give it to me. I'll give you peace in the middle of the storm. I will help you through whatever it is that you're going through. And so that came back to my mind as I'm thinking about feeling sometimes we think that, God, this is just too much. I can't take this. This is too much for me. And all God is saying is, give it to me. I will give you peace in the storm. And we have to remember that even though our situation doesn't always change immediately, that doesn't mean that God's not working something out. We're not going to go from, this horrible place of struggle to this amazing place of blessings all the time right away. Sometimes he can, because he's a miracle worker, but always it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it just requires of us to change our perspective. And so what I've realized is, and what I know to be true, is that we get the toughest part of the storm right before the best part of our life. And if we can just make it through, if we can just get through that tough time, and if we can know that God has peace waiting for us just on the other side, right in the middle of it, even not even on the other, just right in the middle of whatever the worst thing is that we're going through in our life, there's peace right in the middle. But in order to get to that peace, we got to give it to God. We got to let it go. We got to change our perspective on where we are. It's the reason why you feel like you can't make it through is because you were never intended to go through it and to control it and to make it through on your own. We were supposed to be going through this with God. God's supposed to be leading us through, carrying us through this. But when we try to take control, when we try to put it in our own hands, when we try to fix it, when we try to make it work, when we try to make it make sense, that's when we're taking the power away from God. So if I don't say anything else to you, I say release it, give it to God, pray about it, and let him take care of that thing. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Don't worry about how you're going to make it through. Give it to God and let him do it, because that's his job. He's our Father, and he wants to do it. He's just waiting on us to give it to him. And so now that, you know, I've revisited the place of like, you know, God, this is too much for me. And, you know, I feel like once I got past that and once I handed it over to God, God was able to show me and put me exactly where he wanted me to be. And so I'm happy to announce, I'm happy to let you guys know that the last 4 months, although they've been trying, they have been the best place for me. And in this time, I've been able to do the thing that I never thought I would be able to do. So watch this video clip of the day that I completed the thing that I had been working on all summer. Right now with all of this stuff on. But oh my gosh, I'm done. 60,880 words later. From July until now, or June is probably when the concept came, but regardless, from the summer until today, the my chap lips, October 23rd, I am done. Thank you, Panera, for allowing me to use your location as my office. Hallelujah. No, but real talk, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for trusting me with the vision. Thank you for trusting me with the idea. Thank you for giving me the willpower, determination, and the brain to put it all on paper. Never would have thought this was something that I even wanted to do. Never would have thought this was something that I was even supposed to do. But I did it. So, let's see what happens. I know. I don't know if you caught on to it, but what that video was saying was that I wrote a book. I wrote a whole book. I'm super excited. It's book 1 of a series of at least 5 books, and this book is completely dedicated to teen girls across the world, girls between the grades of 7th grade to about 10th grade. Of course, you know, anyone else, it's gonna be for you too, but it's specifically directed towards those girls. It's for the parents of these girls. It's for anyone working with these girls, volunteering with these girls, mentoring with these girls, coaching these girls. It's for girls and anyone that works with them. And I'm super excited to share with you what this book is all about. The title of the book is You Better Fly. So that's why you see all of my fly stuff and You Better Fly everywhere. I can't wait to share with you how amazing this book is. It's gonna be great. It's something that the world didn't even know they needed. But trust me, they need it. They absolutely need it. The only sneak peek I'll give you before next week is think about Babysitter's Club. But think about Babysitter's Club with an amazing twist, okay? It's gonna be so amazing. Tune in next week, and I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about it, okay? Thanks for watching. Go subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Go like. Peace, love, blessings, sunshine, and sparkle. Have an amazing rest of your night. Have an amazing week. Love you. Can't wait to see you again next week.